A lot of times we meet people that make us lose hope. They say things to us that disappoint us or make us feel like, yeah, you're right, I am scum. They'll tell you how haram you and your actions are, how evil you become, etc., etc. Don't confuse the disappointment people have with you with the disappointment Allah might have with you. They're not the same thing. They're not the same thing. Your parents' disappointment with you, your husband's disappointment with you, your wife's disappointment with you, your friend's disappointment with you, your imam's disappointment with you, is not the same as Allah being disappointed with you. It's not the same. People can put you down, and they will. But Allah Azza wa Jal will never abandon, so long as you don't. I don't like to give a talk without turning back to Allah's book in one way or another. So I wanted to share this one of my favorite passages with you that deals with the last discussion that Shaykh Abdul Nasir had with you guys, which was about not giving up on people, and he gave us several instances from the instances of the companions' lives, radiyallahu ta'ala majma'in. I want to turn to a nation that we think is just damned, Bani Israel. Every time Muslims would think, the worst thing you could call them, hey man, this guy's like Bani Israel, totally. Right? That means like they're totally cursed, or, we hate them and they're going to hell. That's one example of people that are just completely damned, there's no hope in them. So I picked a passage that has to do with Bani Israel, so we're clear about something. So we understand how Allah talks about them. وَإِذْ قِيلَ لَهُمْ أُسْكُنُوا هَذِهِ الْقَرْيَةِ When we said to them, settle down in this town. This was said after they had crossed the water, after they had already disobeyed Musa alayhi salam and questioned his authority and had undermined him on several occasions. Even if you undermine a messenger once, it's enough for you to be done. But they were given opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. At the end of it all, Allah says, I'm even giving you a city and a house. Go ahead. So, al-qarya, كُلُوا مِنْهَا وَكُلُوا مِنْهَا حَيْثُ شِئْتُمْ. And eat from it whatever you want. وَقُولُوا حِطَّةً is one condition. As you go in, you should be saying hitta, which means forgiveness. As you walk into the city as conquerors, you should enter into the city in a state of sajda. وَادْخُلُوا الْبَابَ سُجَّدًا. Enter into the city in a state of sajda. Some of you might be confused. How do you enter the gates of a city in the state of sajda? Right? Because sajda is on the ground. Now, how are you going to enter? It's going to hurt your forehead a little if you try to do that. Well, understand, those of you that play like games like Assassin's Creed or one of those like 16th century, 14th century video games, they draw a map of these ancient cities for you with gigantic gates. Right? They have a colossal gate in you. This is what old cities were like. They were gated all around, and they had this one massive gate you go through. And the conquerors are riding into that gate, through that gate on their horses. And their heads are on the necks of these horses in sajda. A conqueror walks in like this. Because he's dominated the people. The people's heads are down. And Allah says, your conquerors? No. You put your heads down to Allah when you conquer the city. And as you're putting your head in sajda, while you're doing so, what should you say? Hitta, you should be asking forgiveness. 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 As you're going in. In a state of sajda, you're asking for forgiveness. Allah says, all your past crimes are forgiven. Just do this. Just do what? Ask for forgiveness. Have they done small crimes or big crimes in the past? Huge crimes. Not just in the absence of a prophet, in the presence of a prophet they've done huge crimes. What are some of those huge crimes? Let's see. Oh yeah, worshipping someone other than Allah. A calf. You know the story. Crimes like murder. Crimes like disregarding gifts of Allah, saying this ain't enough. Where's the rest of the menu? What's for dinner? Manna and salwa. What's for lunch? Salwa and manna. What else we got? Can you go ask Allah to place some additional orders, please? This is how you talk to Allah Azza wa Jal. And Allah says, all forgiven if you just do what? Ask genuinely for forgiveness. And they played with that. Has Allah forgiven previous sins before? To them? He's let so many things go. Then we pardon you, then we pardon you, then we pardon you. But when they played around with forgiveness, Allah says, you just ask for forgiveness, we will cover your extended list of sins. وَسَنَزِيدُ الْمُحْسِنِينَ, and we will increase those who have ihsan. Now you guys know, there's Islam and then what? Iman and then what? Ihsan. Allah is talking to people that have a long list of sins, and He's saying, just if you ask for forgiveness, there is no end to how awesome you can become. You can even become from the muhsinin. You never know what someone can achieve, even if their track record is bad. Allah cleans the slate only because they asked for forgiveness. But what did they do? فَبَدَّلَ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا مِنْهُمْ قَوْلًا غَيْرَ الَّذِي قِيلَ لَهُمْ. They replaced the word that was given to them. The word was, the instruction was forgiveness. They replaced forgiveness with mockery. They made a mockery out of forgiveness. That's one thing Allah won't forgive. Allah gives you one thing that can get rid of all your crimes, and you make fun of that one thing, which is what? Asking for forgiveness. What do we learn from that? And Allah sent them a punishment from the sky, immediately. Didn't even wait for judgment day. He didn't even, for the rest of Bani Israel, Allah told them, إِلَىٰ أَجَلٍ مُسَمًّى, until a given time. But for this group that played around with Allah's offering of forgiveness, the ones that played with that, Allah sent them the punishment immediately, بِمَا كَانُوا يَفْسُقُونَ, because of the corruption that they used to be engaged in. What do we learn from that? Don't make fun of the power of forgiveness. Don't make light of forgiveness. Take it seriously that you're going to ask Allah for forgiveness. Don't say, astaghfirullah. No, it's not a light matter. It's a serious matter. It means you come back to Allah. Because that's something Allah will not procrastinate punishing you for. This is what will connect you directly to Allah Azza wa Jalla. So don't make light of it. Don't be like that.